Hello everybody, how you all doing? Welcome back, or hello if it's your first time here. I'm Wayne, I'm glad you could join me. Help me a little bit on my journey through this USA tour, finding out what I need to know before I make it there one day. Right, American culture I need to know. Speaking English with Vanessa, I've never heard of this lady, I don't think I've seen any of her stuff. A lot of you guys seem to have seen her stuff, 7.29 million subscribers, so she's doing alright. Think I'll join everybody else. Give us a subscribe while I'm here and a thumbs up. Right, American culture I need to know. I'm going to see whether there's stuff in here that I think, and I'm not going to say now because I don't know American culture. I think I do, but I don't, so I'm going to let it teach me some stuff before I start saying things. Right, anyway, I hope you're all well. I hope you're having a good day. I bet you a lot of this stuff I do know.
Hi, I'm
Maybe
Vanessa
not.
from SpeakEnglishWithVanessa.com. Let's talk about it.
Let's go.
Do 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 do.
That's got to be a theme tune to a show.
Do you know this song?
No.
Most Americans immediately recognize this tune, even though my poor singing. You're immediately able to recognize this song because it is a
Oh, I was about to say comedy. I was about to say Little House on the Prairie or something there, but I can't even remember that tune.
common feature of American culture. So today I would like to help you learn 10 common things. Some of them are expressions, some of them are activities, some of them are cultural elements that all Americans know. And
see, I'm not going to get any of these, I don't think then. It's not kind of what I thought. It's something that you have to be American and grow up there to know.
And you should too. Now, of course, some of them are expressions, some of them are activities, some of them are cultural elements that all Americans know, and you should too. Now, of course, the US is an incredibly diverse place with a lot of people who have various backgrounds, so this might not apply to everyone. I can't speak for all people living in the United States, but these are generally known things in the US that it's kind of fun to be able to know as well. So let's get started with the first one. And to help you remember everything that you learned in this very American lesson, you can download the free PDF worksheet that I've made for today's lesson. It includes all of these expressions, cultural elements, and ideas that I've talked about in this lesson. Plus, you'll see Vanessa's challenge question so that you can answer it and use what you've learned. You can download that PDF with the link in the description. All right, let's get started with our first very American thing that almost all Americans know what it is. If I asked you, what are you doing for the 4th? Would you know what I mean? You might look at your calendar.
Well, I'm going to assume the 4th of July, your Independence Day celebrations.
And say, November 4th? December 4th? No, when someone asks you...
See, even if that image wasn't there, I would have got that one. See, I think the vast majority would have got, the world would have got this one.
What are you doing for the 4th? They always mean July 4th.
Yeah.
And that's because July 4th is the American Independence Day. And we usually just shorten this to the 4th. What are you doing for the 4th? I'm going to the lake for the 4th.
See, that's a part of it I didn't know, but I would get that. If I was over there and I heard a group of you guys all chatting, it's like, oh, what are you doing on the 4th? Or for the 4th or whatever, it automatically come in my head, Independence Day.
I'm not really doing anything for the 4th, but maybe I'll try to find some fireworks. We often shorten Independence Day or July 4th to just the 4th. And now you know that too. If I said to you, whoa, I just found a Benjamin on the street. I can't believe it.
A Benjamin on the street. Is it like some sort of Cockney rhyming slang, but a USA version? Oh. This is only guessing. A Benjamin. He's on notes, isn't he? Benjamin Franklin. So you found a $10 bill. I don't know what note he's on. Perhaps you found $10.
Would you think that I found a guy named Benjamin on the street and I just feel so excited? Maybe he's my long-lost friend? Nope. If I said I found a Benjamin on the street, that means a $100 bill. And that's because
I'd be excited too, finding 100.
Benjamin Franklin
Finding
is
a
the
dollar, I'd be
guy who's
excited.
on the $100 bill. So if you say, oh man, I really just need to earn some Benjamin.
I have never, ever, ever heard any of that terminology, Benjamin, for money, in any movie. Perhaps they've said it and it's just gone straight over my head. But I bet I'll catch that in loads of stuff now. I bet I hear it in the first American movie that I watch next now.
This weekend, I need to pay my rent, I'm falling behind. That means you need to make several $100s. It's just slang for $100. So I hope for you, you find a Benjamin on the street someday. That would be amazing. If my husband Dan said, "Did you eat the last piece of cake?" I might say,
I'm guessing we don't mean a real piece of cake. I genuinely no guess on this one. Oh, right, okay. You got a dirty face. That's all. I don't know.
I plead the fifth. Oh, what is happening here? Am I telling him that I'm guilty, or am I telling him...
See, I've heard that on loads of American shows. I plead the fifth.
I'm not guilty. I didn't do it. Well, this expression, I plead the fifth, has to do with the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution. And that means that I don't need to tell you because maybe it will hurt me in a court of law later. This is a very legal type of statement, but we often use this in...
Yeah, I think she's about to say it there. Is she about to say in jest? I think that'd be the wrong word. I feel as though when people get arrested by the police, they don't actually say that, I plead the fifth. It's something to, I don't know, one of your mates or a family member or something, they say something, as they just said there, do you eat the last bit of cake? I plead the fifth. Basically saying, yeah, I've done it, but I'm not telling you I did. That's how I see it.
Daily conversation to say, yes, but I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
So when my husband asks me, did you eat the last piece of cake? And I say, I plead the fifth, he knows... Yes, Vanessa ate it, but she doesn't want to tell me.
A nice way of admitting
So you can
stuff.
use this very American expression when you want to tell someone yes, but maybe you feel embarrassed to tell them yes directly. You can just say, I plead the fifth. Great expression. In 2004, I was a senior. Does this mean I was...
Only thing I can think of is senior. Senior school, senior citizen, and she was definitely not a senior citizen in 2004. So I mean, senior school. I don't know. I don't even know whether you say senior school over there.
Was old in 2004. What if I told you also that in 2008 I was also a senior? If you're an American, you can probably guess that...
Does it mean you've been working somewhere at doing something she's gonna let me know.
This means I was in high school in 2004 and I was in college in 2008. A senior means you are in your last...
I have had people in my comments when this has come up on a video before, all these freshmen, sophomore, junior and senior. But then I don't know what ages these are neither. But yeah, that's something a video I'm going to have to watch.
Year of high school or your last year of college. So in the US, we often have terms for first, second, third, and fourth year in high school and in college. So if you are in 9th grade, you are a freshman. If you are in 10th grade, you're a sophomore. Notice that the O in the middle of this word is silent.
See, freshman, as I said, and so I said in the comments before, freshman to me sounds like, well, every time I've watched an American movie, it's freshman and stuff like that. It was the new people coming, so that made sense to me. Freshman, fresh person. But junior, senior makes sense. So you got freshman, junior, senior. But what the hell is a sophomore? I don't know. So if you know, well, obviously you're gonna know, but in the comments, let me know what sophomore is. I mean, as a word, it doesn't really make any sense to me as a word.
More. If you're in 11th grade, you are a junior. We could say, I'm in my junior year. I'm a junior. And if you're in 12th grade, so the final grade of high school, you're a senior. And this type of system also applies to college. You are a
I think I know what I was trying to say there. Where else would you use the terminology sophomore other than your high school? You could use freshman in all sorts of places, junior and senior, but where else could you use the term sophomore? Will you let me know in the comments, please?
I'm
I could
a junior.
Google it.
And if
I could Google it, but I love reading your comments.
you're in 12th grade, so the final grade of high school, you're a senior. And this type of system also applies to college. You are a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior in college, especially when you go to a 4-year college, these type of terms apply. So it's quite common that when you are a senior, you think you are much better than freshmen. Oh, I was never so small. They're so much like just little children, those freshmen. We are seniors. I think this is pretty common in high school that you see the people who are younger than you as so much younger. I wasn't like that when I was a freshman, but really you were. So this type of system is quite common in the US, and now you know about it too. When you arrive in the US, you will probably need to fill out a visa form. And at the bottom of the visa, you need to sign your John Hancock. Is your name John Hancock? Well, if it is, you definitely need to do that. But this
I got a
term,
clue what this
sign your John Hancock, just
Not sign your life away. I don't know. I ain't got a clue what that'd be.
means your signature. There's a little bit of American history behind this because John Hancock was a guy who signed his name big and large on the Declaration of Independence.
I knew about the guy.
So it was kind of a bold
Know about John Hancock, but I didn't know about his signature technique.
statement where these colonists in the United States or in the Americas told England, we want to have independence. And it's a pretty big statement. Maybe there's some treason involved, so it's kind of scary to say, I'm someone who supports this. But John Hancock signed his name really large on that document. So it was bold and courageous. It was a big move. So because of this, his name is synonymous now with a signature. Sign your John Hancock. Put your John Hancock here. We don't always use this instead of signature, but you will definitely hear this, and it's steeped in American history. And now you can use it too. Now,
I bet you, as I said a minute ago, when I go to watch some movies or something, I'm going to hear these now. Because as I said before, I've probably heard them and they've just gone straight over my head like.
we have two fun American idioms. One is if I said to you, you shouldn't buy a new car. If you buy a used car, you get more bang for your buck.
We say that you get more bang for your buck, but in all sorts of things. Yeah, not just a car, but I can't even think of any other examples. Some of this cheaper, but you're getting more for your money.
This expression, bang for your buck, kind of includes two American concepts. One is buck, which is slang for dollar.
See, I've never even thought about that. That is a saying that I've always heard. You get more bang for your buck. Because bang and buck rhymes. More bang for your quid. Won't make sense, would it? More bang for your buck makes a lot more sense.
And the other one, bang, doesn't necessarily relate to guns. It's two American concepts. One is buck, which is slang for dollars. And the other one, bang, doesn't necessarily relate to guns, but I know guns are kind of culturally linked to the US. So we get this idea that you can get a great value for your money if you buy a used car.
That's what I was trying to say. Not just for a car though, but she's using that as an example, ain't she? I know she is. But yeah, we say that too. But it never occurred to me. We say bang for your buck. I don't know. Me growing up as well, not just me, a lot of people my age. I'm trying to think of the right word. Like, you go and meet up with your mates or whatever when we was kids and we're like, oh, you got any dollar? As in, you got any money? we didn't say you got any pounds. It's literally say you got any dollar. I've never even really thought about that sort of stuff. But yeah. But again, bang for your buck makes a lot more sense than bang for your quid over here. Otherwise, it wouldn't work, would it?
So you might say, yeah, you should get a used car. It's more bang for your buck. Don't get a new car. It's better to get a used car. This is a great expression. More bang for your buck. When I was growing up, before we left for school almost every morning, it was pretty common for my sister and I to fight over who said shotgun first. Why?
See, that one made it over here as well. I think it's only recently that I've figured out, and I'm talking the last 4 or 5 years, that I've figured out kind of what it really means. I know it means to take passenger seat, but in my head, my dark mind, I used to think in the passenger seat because you'd be the guy holding the shotgun. I know, that's where my mind used to go. But then I didn't learn it from anywhere else. My brain just put it together. Shotgun, side by side, barrels. But yeah, I don't know why my mind made me think. It must have been all them bloody movies I watched. But I just assumed shotgun meant the guy on the passenger side because he was holding a shotgun. But anyway, actually that even might be it. The one I just said might be wrong. The second one I just said might be wrong about side by side barrels. That one does make more sense to me now.
Were we trying to beat each other to say shotgun? What's that mean? Does that mean we want...
But bags in the front seat when I was growing up, though, as a kid. I must have been in my mid-teens or something when I first heard shotgun, maybe.
To carry a shotgun? Does that mean we were going hunting or shooting? No.
I was thinking more drive-by.
Instead, shotgun is the passenger seat. And for some reason, this is the most desirable seat in the car when you're not the driver. So kids, I guess not too young, but high schoolers or older kids always want to call shotgun. And we use that expression, I call shotgun, or just saying shotgun. And that means that's my seat. I claim it. And this was really common, especially with siblings, even with friends too, that before you get in the car, if you're not the driver, you'd say, I call.
Definitely wasn't common between siblings. I wouldn't have had a choice. I got 2 older brothers. If I had have called shotgun, it wouldn't have meant anything. It was between mates, mainly for me.
Shotgun. Well, maybe now you can call shotgun too. Have you ever eaten the most tasty bonfire treat in the entire world? This is something I look forward to
toffee.
every time we have a bonfire. It is s'mores. S'mores.
See, I don't know if that's a thing over there. Bonfire toffee, I don't know what it's made from. I think it's just sugar and other stuff, like all good stuff usually is. It genuinely tasted like fire, a bonfire, like a lolly, a sugary lolly. But s'mores, I feel as though I've had these before. I used to be a little firebug as a kid, late 80s, early 90s. Didn't cause no damage, apart from to my own flesh. But I probably did this melting crisp packets with some marshmallows, and I feel as though I did that as a child with some friends. I don't know, but yeah, the wagon wheels. We've got a thing called a wagon wheel. You might have them over there as well. It's not melted marshmallow, but it's like biscuit with marshmallow in the middle. But yeah, they do look good.
This is something I didn't realize was very American until I was talking to some international friends, and they said, what? We just toast marshmallows. What do you put with them? So let me explain to you a delicacy.
It's a great concept though, isn't it? You burn the marshmallow, right? Because that is the thing here, you're burning your marshmallows away. It's going to drip off, isn't it, eventually? You don't want to shove it in your mouth while it's like a bubbling lump of melted plastic. Get it on your crackers, your biscuits, or your smorboards. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, well, it's marshmallow, a bit of chocolate, and a type of biscuit. No, I have had them, and we did it with we didn't do it with a piece of chocolate. We did it with Nutella, or some sort of chocolate spread anyway. And like we had sugary biscuits called Nice or Nice. We call them Nice, even though they're spelt nice. Yeah, I did do them as a child. They probably tasted more like burnt plastic than anything else.
Something amazing that has a special place in my... What? We just toast marshmallows. What do you put with them? So let me explain to you a delicacy, something amazing that has a special place in my heart. First, you have a graham cracker.
Graham.
This is a special...
I was going to say that. Graham cracker. She's saying graham cracker, right? Sometimes when you say Graham, we say Graham, you say Graham. Is it spelled? Oh no, it's there on the screen. If I look on the screen. Graham. I think that's mad. My dad's called Graham. I might start calling him Graham. I wonder if my dad knows Americans do say Graham.
Type of cookie, even though it's called a delicacy, something amazing that has a special place in my heart. First, you have a graham cracker. This is a special type of cookie, even though it's called cracker. It's quite sweet. And then we have a piece of chocolate. So we often buy some Hershey's chocolate, break off a piece, put it on the graham cracker, and when you're having a bonfire, you set that close to the fire, not too close, but close enough that the chocolate gets a little soft. And then you take a stick and 2 marshmallows, you could do 1, but 2 is better, and you toast them over the fire very carefully to make sure that they don't explode into flames. Some people like that. Personally, I like them to be perfectly toasted.
A bit of burnt on the edges. So I did mention in the video that I did, was it yesterday or day before, that I like all the burnt bits on barbecue. I call them burnt bits, and someone in comments said they're not burnt. Yeah, it's all the flavouring that's gone into it. I don't know why, but I just call them burnt bits. But in general, I do like burnt food. I'm very strange. When my bacon, steak, chicken, anything I cook, I have to burn it. That to me gives food flavour. So I'm definitely, like on this photo here that I can see, them burnt bits will be the best. The bits that turn like charcoal.
Toasted, and it is an art
That's the jar like my bacon, like charcoal.
form, let me tell you. So you toast them, and then when they're toasted, you put them on the chocolate, and you take another piece of a graham cracker, and you slide the marshmallows off, and there you have the perfect s'more. Toasty,
good, though.
warm, melty, gooey, so perfect. So the next time that you're at a bonfire, maybe you can
How many of you watching this have ended up with blisters all over your lips from eating them? I can imagine that. Getting it on there while it's still hot and dripping everywhere, so you try and get it off your thumb while it's burning.
introduce this idea to your friends, or if you're at a bonfire in the US, you will definitely see people eating s'mores. Please try it for
And why are we called s'mores anyway? How come they're called s'mores?
my sake. I hope you'll love it.
I know you guys will let me.
All right, now it's time for the song you have been waiting for. It is dun da 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 dun da.
It does sound familiar.
Da 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 da. Do you know this song?
I'm gonna know the
This
program.
song is "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
No.
And I
No, I don't know that then.
included this here because
Unless some of the I did check out a few sports videos. Perhaps that was played on one of them.
there's a funny little story I wanted to share with you. One of my friends, you might follow his YouTube channel. His name's Jack. He has a YouTube channel called To Fluency, and he's from the UK, but he's married to an American. And he told me that one time they were playing a game with some Americans, and the game was that you had to hum a song and your partner had to guess what it was. So his wife drew a card and it said, hum "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." And she's like, all right, this is a good song. It's easy. He'll understand it immediately. So she started to hum. And he just looked at her like, what? I've never heard that in my life. So obviously that was not a good moment in their game for them, maybe a little funny. But because of this, I realized, oh, maybe this song isn't quite so well known internationally, but it is a staple of American culture because bass.
Of course, it's like if I went. You wouldn't have a clue what that was, but any Brit watching would know exactly what that were.
Ball is extremely common.
I'm sorry about that.
And this song is sung before every baseball game. So if you've ever been to any kind of big baseball game in the US, you've definitely heard this song, and If you memorize the lyrics, you'll be able to sing along and cheer with everyone. It's a great moment to kind of have that group feeling of excitement before a game. So make sure you check out Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You can search on YouTube and see some clips of crowds of people at baseball games singing this song. Quite fun and very American.
I genuinely don't know whether I've heard this or not. I can't say yes or I can't say no. I feel as though I have, but I don't want to say I have because I don't know. That middle bit with the nuts and crackers bit, see the peanuts and crackers, that bit sounded familiar. I hope I don't get copywritten for that now.
Our final very American thing today also has to do with baseball. What if I said to you, your speech was awesome. You knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Knock it out of the park. That gets used here as well. As of late. Quite lately. Well, no, not quite lately. At least the last couple of decades. Knocked it out of the park. So when you've done really well with something. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to do, if you do well at it, you've knocked it out of the park.
Did you give a speech about baseball? Are you playing baseball? No, this just means it was amazing. You did even better than expected. You knocked it out of the park. Here we have the image of someone playing baseball. He's got a baseball bat, someone's pitching him the ball, and he hits it.
I can hear the tune in my head that when we get a run. Is that the... Oh God, I'm not even going to try and do it because I sounded like Woody Woodpecker in it then. Oh God, I can hear the tune in my head when someone gets an home run.
He doesn't just hit it into the outfield. That's where someone can catch it. He hits it beyond the field, out of the park. And this means it's a home run. No one can catch it, and it's great for his team. Everyone can get to home base, and they might get a lot of points. So here, knocking it out of the park is a great thing. In baseball, and in life. So if you do something really awesome, better than expected, you can use this expression. Oh man, I can't believe it, but I talked to someone in English the other day and I think I knocked it out of the park. I explained myself exactly the way I wanted. I did it and they understood me. Congratulations, you knocked it out of the park. Well, congratulations. Now you are in the loop to all of these American secrets, all of these things that most Americans know, and now you do too. If you are American and you're watching this, let me know in the comments. Did you know all these things? I think they're pretty common in American culture, but let me know in the comments, and I would love to see what you have to say.
Right, don't forget. You knocked it out of the park, Vanessa. See, she explains stuff a lot better than I can. The Benjamin one. I kind of guessed that. I was thinking Benjamin Franklin. Oh, he's on money. So that'll have something to do with finding money. But the ball game one. When she was humming it, it sounded familiar. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, that tune that I did earlier, it's an old show that was running from the 80s. I still think it's running now, called The Bill. And that was the theme tune. Everyone knows that theme tune here. But, right, yeah, that was amazing. Loads more stuff to check out. What am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Cowboy Fast Draw World Cup Championships. I'm going to do that later today or probably tomorrow. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed that, give us thumbs up and all that good stuff, and put stuff in the comments for me to read. I really enjoy reading the comments. Right, goodbye. Bye-bye.